Today has been an absolute mess for people trying to get the Marvel Secret Lairs. Hi, I'm Amy the Amazonian, and this is a rant video because I was one of the people who wanted to order a bunch of stuff from the Marvel Secret Lairs. If you don't know what the Marvel Secret Lairs are, or what Secret Lairs are in general, they are these limited quantity, as in they print them and then they sell them, and once they're sold out, special arts or cards that you can only get through the Secret Lair website. And they have a drop time of noon Eastern on Mondays. This happened to go live about 4 hours and 50 minutes before I started recording. And you may notice that everything is sold out, with the exception of one item, which is probably going to sell out pretty soon. Because if you add it to your cart and you go into line to try to check out, you'll be added into a queue. And that queue right here, you can see, will take you more than an hour to get through. And it even marks right here that pretty much everything is sold out, because it is. So I am streaming almost every single day, including Mondays, which means that I was ready at noon to join the queue. There were a lot of other people. At exactly noon Eastern, this is 9 a.m. Pacific, I joined the queue. And you see how it says that there's more than an hour waiting time? Well, there was more than an hour waiting time if you joined right at the start. In fact, it took me 4.5 hours to get through the queue. And by the time I did, almost everything was sold out. I believe that at that point, the only thing that weren't sold out were the non-foil editions of Iron Man, Black Panther, and Wolverine. But almost all the foils were sold out, and the Storm Secret Lairs were sold out, and the bundles were sold out, and the thing that's advertised at the top of the page right here, the Earth's Mightiest Emblem, which is an arcane signet that you're supposed to get for every $200 you spent, were sold out. So I'm not that big on buying limited quantity items. I'm not somebody who really goes for collector things, but these are things that were not being printed, as far as I know, into actual sets. We're getting some Marvel sets. We're getting one next year. We're getting Spider-Man. But we were getting, for me, Storm. And I care about Storm. For me, that's a character. I think she's cool. I thought she was really hot when I was a teenager, and I still think that she is. So I wanted to get, especially with the art by Magali, of Storm. So let me bring that up here. This is the one that I wanted to buy. Secret Lair X Marvel's Storm. I wanted to get the non-foil one, but it came in both. It costs like $40, I believe, for the non-foil, and then $50 for the foil, and then like $10 of shipping. Free shipping on orders over $99 doesn't really apply to me because I just wanted this. Because of this. This is cool. This is a commander card. You can play it as your commander. She gives your spells Storm, and that's really neat. You can see the other cards that are in the Secret Lair down here. You may also like Black Panther. I do like Black Panther, but not as much as I like Storm. I'm, by the way, hoping that we're getting 3 different Marvel sets coming up. We know one's Spider-Man. I'm really hoping one of them is X-Men, because then we might get, like, Storm again, or we might get another one. Anyway, clearly sets up to be a Storm deck. Also a land destruction deck, just a little bit. And Storm Force of Nature is a very cool card with unique art, and I wanted to have it. But, of course, it was selling out. And as I said before, 4.5 hours at noon on a Monday to get in. So if you were like me and you're at work and you joined the queue at noon, like at your lunch break if you're on the East Coast, or I guess it would have been right after work if you're in most of Europe, or it would have been first thing in the morning if you were on the Pacific Coast. Great. You sat in there all day. And most people, by the way, they can't be on their phone or on their computer just like at random times during the day. There's a lot of people who, what they do at work, or maybe if they're in classes or things like that, they can't be waiting for 4.5 hours, especially because you don't know it's going to be 4.5 hours. As you can see here, it just says more than an hour. And there's a little walking man at the bottom of the screen. And this little walking man, this is not an indication at all of how far you are in the queue. As far as I could tell, because it was like, it took me like 2 hours to get to the 50% mark. That wasn't quite a reflection of how long it took. And I'm going to explain why. So At this point, it just sounds like, oh, these sold out really fast. That stinks. No, that's actually not the issue. That's not why I'm making this video. The problem is that people were cheating the queue. There were multiple ways that people circumvented actually waiting through a queue system. Now, I understand a first come, first serve queue system has its flaws, but usually those flaws are people aren't always available. Some people are able to buy a lot of them in high quantities, and then they scalp them. They sell them on the secondary market. That's not the problem I'm talking about. Though you could buy apparently up to $6,000 of products because it let you buy like 6 of each item, which is crazy because it meant that the bundles sold out, so those arcane signets sold out, and I bet these things are going for a crazy amount of money on the secondary market. In fact, I'm going to open up a tab on my other window here so I can take a look at that while I'm just like talking about what people are doing. So as this was happening, I was on Twitter and I was, talking about stuff going on with waiting in the queue because, it's what everybody's doing. Everybody's waiting in the queue to get the secret lairs. And a couple people came into my chat and they're like, yeah, I've been waiting for an hour and I joined before noon. And I'm like, well, what do you mean I joined before noon? Oh, well, there's this thing that a bunch of people know about. I didn't know about it because I don't usually buy secret lairs, where if you added something from one of the other secret lairs into your box, into your cart, and then before noon went to your cart, it would add you to the queue before the queue was live. The queue was supposed to go live at noon, and people were getting in as early as an hour before that. So the actual queue wasn't even starting at noon. If you knew the secret gimmick, you could get in ahead of time by adding one of these to your cart and then editing your cart while you were on this page. Okay, that's a little frustrating. It really means that the first come, first serve actually is first come, first serve if you're one of the people who knows about this silly thing that you can do on the website. All right, that's obnoxious. So then you have people waiting in the queue for a couple hours. And a lot of people noticed that their numbers on this estimate were going up. I had people in my chat, because I was streaming, saying like, yeah, mine just went from 50 minutes to over an hour. Other people saying, yeah, I haven't gotten to under an hour yet, and I joined early. People who joined the queue early said their numbers were going up. And I was thinking, well, maybe they fixed the problem, and they were like booting people out of the queue. At one point, by the way, they even paused the queue. I think because this queue website was crashing because there was too much demand. They unpaused it about 45 minutes later. No, here's the real thing that was happening. Remember how I said people were cheating the queue? I started getting messages from people, both on Twitch and through Twitter. I got DMs, I got emails, all these people who knew I was looking to get the Storm Secret Lair. Well, like, hey, Amy, I saw this thing on Reddit. If you have the item in your cart, you can just check out, follow this link. And of course, I'm thinking like, okay, this is weird. Just let me double check. Yeah, this link is legit. It was a link that goes to your checkout on the Secret Lair website. Like, genuinely, it was just the same link that you would go to if you were trying to get to the rest of the Secret Lair. By the way, I have like a screenshot of, welcome to the Secret Lair Lounge. The line is paused. This is what I got on my queue. So if you were in the queue on this page and you just went to your checkout, you could check out and buy the items. And of course I'm like, well, I do want this. So I also went and I bought my one copy of the Storm Secret Lair, and it worked. It worked. I was able to, while it still said you have more than an hour to wait, this was 2.5 hours, by the way, into waiting, I was able to go in and buy my Secret Lair, which I guess meant that the wait time now goes up for everyone else. Okay, wow, that's terrible. I guess this system isn't first come, first serve, or even first come, first serve if you know about a secret trick. It's First come, first serve, first to figure out that if you go to the checkout page through a direct link, that it will allow you to check out and purchase the items. What is this? Why are you even using this like scale fast thing if it's not going to be a good system? It's clearly just a big mess. So you have people missing out on getting this item, even though they spent all day waiting. And, well, I don't know, I guess you can maybe get lucky, some of the people who are in the queue, and you'll be able to get this. I'm not sure. And because you don't know how long you had to wait in the queue, people who did genuinely wait in the queue, they may have missed their window. They may have waited the hour, had to go grocery shopping or like run an errand, pick up their kids from school. Maybe they're at work and they are in a meeting and they can't do it and just missed the window. And it stinks and it's awful. And it's really frustrating because these are limited quantity things that don't need to be limited quantity. I personally believe that secret lairs should be sold as print to order with a big batch of them printed ahead of time for people who order early. So they're available all month long. But if you happen to order them and you're in the first, like, maybe 1,000 people to do so, I don't know how many of these they sold, I assume it's a lot, then those ones are already available. So the reason they don't do that, I think, is twofold. The first reason is because the fear of missing out, having this limited quantity item, sells more. So they can sell these high demand things. The second reason is that it's way easier to do fulfillment for things that aren't print to order. Print to order items are kind of a pain in the butt to both manage the shipping of. It can take many, many months to fulfill these orders. Generally, just doing this kind of fulfillment is more difficult, it's more expensive, and it's harder to figure out what you need to do for scale. So if you're Wizards of the Coast, it's a lot better, and you probably have way better margins, even though it's a little less predictable how much you're going to be selling overall, to do these limited quantity drops. But it really stinks for people who are like, okay, so they sold out. How am I supposed to get Iron Man? What if you wanted Iron Man? Look at how happy he is here. He's having a great time. What if you wanted Iron Man? I guess you could go and buy them on the secondary market. So I'm going to go ahead and look up the Secret Lair Marvel Super Drop over here on TCG Player, where I assume eBay and TCG Player are the places where most of these are going to be sold. You know what? I'm going to look up the one that I wanted. The Secret Lair X Marvel Storm. I bought one of these. It was $53, I believe, after shipping and taxes. So I spent $53 to get the Secret Lair X Marvel's Storm non-foil drop. Okay, I can't see the whole title here. It's one of these two. I guess it's the lower cost one. Let me just see the whole title. Here we go. The Secret Lair Marvel Storm non-foil edition Secret Lair drop series. This is the item that I got. I said it was like $53. It's probably going to depend on your state if they make you pay taxes on online orders. And it looks like people are selling them for more than double that. Because there are scalpers, there are a lot of them, and yeah, there's an awful lot of people. You can see that, like, they're selling 14 items sold pre-sale for this, and you have there aren't even any listings left for it because all 14 of them that people listed got sold to people who are just like, I really need this. So if I had not done that thing that people were like, psst, Amy, the guys on Reddit are telling me to click this link, click the link, I would also have to pay like $120 for my silly little picture of an X-Man. And listen, I do like a silly little picture of an X-Man, but I don't want to be spending $100 for a silly little picture of an X-Man. $50 was already a lot to spend on a silly little picture. And it came with other cards. Dang, they're cool looking cards, though. Again, Magali, she's my favorite Magic artist, by the way. I'm kind of a sucker for, like, any of her portraits. There's a reason why I think this was the first one who sold out. So this is an absolute pain. And I feel really bad for everybody else who wanted something from these secret lairs and couldn't get them. Because it took... Here we go. All products in US stores are sold out. while I was recording this video. So remember how I started this and it said like I said it was like, I guess it's 1:50 Pacific, 4:50 p.m. EST. Okay, that's when I started this video. And 15 minutes later, it's all sold out. It sold out while I was making this. You see how it says add to cart, like low stock? Refresh the page. I guess it's sold out. It's just not reflecting it correctly here. Yeah, so a mess. A total mess. It's funny, by the way, it doesn't kick you out of the queue. It's like, I'm in the queue and there's no items left. I wonder what I'm in the queue for. Nothing. There's nothing left to buy. All items are sold out. So the timeline of this, again, was before it goes live, some people queue up because they know a thing. The queue goes live. People are now joining the queue. They're starting to buy things. The bonus thing, the bundle starts selling out. So the Arcane Signet sold out first. Then the bundle started selling out. Then Storm. Then everything else. And now it's all sold out in 5 hours. 5 hours. Oh, you know what I missed in that timeline? 1 hour. Okay. Between like 5 minutes after it went live and an hour, it said the queue is paused, which I don't really know what the queue is paused actually meant, because like people were still checking out and people could still join the queue. Anyway, it was a mess. Everything is very silly. I think, by the way, that like that you use the direct link to go to the checkout got patched while people were using it, because somebody figured it out. It started spreading around on the internet. It's on Reddit, it's on Twitter, it's on all of these things. People on Twitch are talking about it. I bet somebody even like threw out a YouTube video like, use this super hack if you're trying to get the Marvel Secret Lair. And everything sells out. And the people who received the items were not even first come, first serve. If you were in queue right at noon like I was, you weren't even guaranteed to get the things you wanted. It's just a bad system, and it really stinks that people aren't able to get the silly little pieces of cardboard that they want. So I guess if you'd like to play with these cards and you're not playing in a sanctioned event, you know what you should do? You should get a printer, right? And you should just like print out a picture of the card, because look, there's nice pretty pictures of them right here. Or if you want to pull a card out of my book, get one of these little proxy cards and just like draw it yourself. I bet I could draw a pretty bad Storm. And that would make it much funnier, because I would have a unique, bespoke Storm force of nature that would be even worse to play against, because it would be harder to read and have really bad art on it. I do think that these are fun to doodle on, though. Just make sure you're using, like, the, like, felted pens, not a ballpoint pen for them. Give it time to dry. My personal recommendation, by the way, is the Micron pens. Do I have one here? I think I do. So, oh, here's one. So these little, like, Micron pens are really nice to draw on cards. I'm just gonna, like, draw a little smiley face. They show up nicely, and you can get a pretty fine point. They just take a little while to dry. So if you ever want to draw on your own Magic cards, use these blank playing cards. Same thing. These are really good pens for it. So yeah, that's just a recap of today's kerfuffle. I'm sorry if you were trying to get these and you couldn't, but there was a whole lot of dumb stuff going on that made it a lot worse for people who were trying to get these in an honest and fair way. Anyway, I'm recording this off my stream, so some people are gonna like wake up and be like, when did Amy record this? After the stream. I was supposed to be taking a shower right now, and I think I still need to take one. My hair feels kind of gross. I'm sick right now, by the way. It's hard to tell because I'm being held together by like coffee and Sudafed and acetaminophen, but like doing my best, power through the frustrations so I can rant about the Marvel Super Drop. Thank you for watching, and I'm sorry.